For this particular home, we have been working in University Park, Maryland with our clients. And Jonathan Kuhn has been our architect on this project. We've worked together for several years. The average age of homes in University Park is 1920s. And so that becomes a very interesting feat for our company, considering we're full service design and build. We understand the structural components and challenges that a 1920s home, a 100-year-old home will bring. This particular client was introduced to us by their realtor because we were working in University Park, Maryland already, finishing a home just 2 blocks down the street. And one thing that's important to me is something I call comfort and chemistry. If we can establish comfort and chemistry for us in choosing the customer and the customer in choosing us, we know that the next 9 to sometimes 12 months will be fun and exciting. So with that being the case, when they found this particular home, there was quite a bit of damage on the walls in the basement. They were caving in. There was active water coming into those walls. The height of the basement was 6'3". At its tallest point. And so we knew that there was quite a bit of work to do, not only to make it watertight, but also airtight. And then as we walked through the house to the top floor is actually the attic, and that stood maybe 5 feet 3 inches. So we knew at that point that there would be quite a bit of work that would need to be done. And so I immediately called our architect, Jonathan, to make sure that we can put something together. We began to open up the walls of the basement to really understand what was happening. We also identified that the sump pump that had been put into the basement was not connected, and that the company who had initially put in the sump pump had damaged the footer walls. So footer walls are typically 10 to 12 inches deep. We found that this was 3 inches deep. What did that mean for us? That meant that if we were going to add a third level and add significantly onto the square footage of this home, that we needed to add to the structural components of the basement. And that meant underpins. We underpinned the entire basement. So our clients for this particular home are both graduates of Purdue University. And so we know that they were very passionate about their university. And so what did we do? We offered to put the Purdue logo on the wall for them. We contacted Purdue University and they gave us a brand letter giving us approval to use their logo. We stenciled it on the wall in their approved paint that we had custom made for us. And so we're very excited. They're thrilled. It's a surprise, I'm sure, for them. Purdue said no one has ever done that in a home. And so we're the first. We increased the height by nearly 3 feet. And so it is now a usable space. So that is always our first step. In terms of understanding what we can and cannot do in a structure. And then once we have an airtight and watertight house, then we know where we're going from there in terms of beauty and design. We added 3,000 square feet to this property. And so now it is really a usable space where a family can grow and flourish if that's the client's desire.
We chose to go with NGage Properties because as we were touring the house with our real estate agent, he knew Nicole, and she was working on a project just down the street, about 2 blocks away. A couple days later, we were able to go into the house down the street that she was working on and get to see her work firsthand at a stage that was pretty far along in the finishing project. So that really sold us on being able to see what our project could be and what we could do with this house.
In all honesty, we didn't even think about extending out the attic. At first, that was an idea that Nicole had and presented to us, and it wowed us so much that we were like, wow, that's an option that we can do that. And it really opened our eyes to some of the possibilities where we had ideas, but we weren't as creative as she was willing to be. As we said, we aren't from this area. We don't know all the best places to shop at. So having Nicole be that local expert that can take us to a big showroom to show us lots of different options to finish our home, whether it be handle colors to appliances to the stone that's behind us or the stone that's in any of the bathrooms or in the kitchen. We were able to go to these huge warehouses and see so many different options. And without her expertise, we would have probably gone to the local Home Depot and not had nearly as good of options.
From the very beginning, we engaged in ongoing consultation with the NPG team and the homeowner to understand their lifestyle needs, their priorities, and the vision. The result? A technology plan that placed the homeowner's comfort, security, and convenience at the center while upholding the sophistication expected in a luxury residence like you see here.
NGage has a strong affinity for modern and contemporary design, clean lines throughout materials, and spaces that elevate how people live every day. Red House enters typically once the construction is well underway and the finishes have been selected. We look at the space not just as designers, but as interpreters. We want to understand who the client is, how they move through the world, what their color preferences are, their rituals, their rhythm, how they live, how they rest, how they celebrate. From that understanding, we begin our own design process, which is completely curated. Every piece we select, the furniture, the palette, the artwork, and the textures, it's all intentional. It's not about trends or filling space. It's about layering the personality of the client into the architecture that Nicole and her team have brought to life.
Very, very popular last year was creating moody spaces. And what does that mean? That means that there is no longer shyness, if you will, around using deep, dark colors. So the ceiling is painted secluded woods green, all the walls, etc., the baseboards, the trim is painted that same color. It makes it very moody. And then to really highlight that room, we brought in a 44,000 beaded French inspired chandelier from our friends at RH. And it's a stunner. And we didn't go with the regular glass, we went with smoked glass with ambient lighting. And so that against the backdrop of secluded woods is really fantastic. And our clients absolutely adore it. Really excited about that, but the stunner of the room is the custom herringbone that's on the ceiling with trimless 4-inch recessed cans, as well as LED light all around the entirety of the ceiling. It is a stunner. And one of the things we want to make sure of these as we work with clients is to not only create something beautiful, but to create something timeless, elevated, elegant, sophisticated. We, in the kitchen, instead of using waterfall on both sides of the island or having a bar, our clients didn't want that. They really wanted to make sure that all 4 sides of that island was usable, and it is. But because we had a stunning countertop, we decided to do waterfall legs. And so we have Dekton Laurent that is not only the countertop, but also the countertop legs. And that was really something we've never done before, and we're really super excited about how that came to be. That cast stone mantle was 2,000 pounds. And that was really a feat. It took 7 of our guys just to get it up the driveway. And so that experience alone was very interesting. And then 4 guys alone to bring in every single piece from the side legs to also the top portion. The interior of the fireplace was completely rebuilt in terms of the firebox with the herringbone that's also inside. And then the top portion of the fireplace we were really excited about with the client, textured ice-flake quartzite that is at the top, and that the front piece alone is 400 pounds. So we found that it was necessary to add additional structural supports in the basement.
I'm thrilled with the outcome of the house. I would most definitely recommend using Nicole. She, as Kate has said a few times, she's both willing to run with ideas you have and provide ideas where you don't even know what to have an idea about. So she's wonderful.
I'd say I would definitely wholeheartedly recommend working with NGage Properties for anybody who does have a house project that they're working toward. It was a dream to work with her. I wouldn't do it any other way. I wouldn't go back and change anything about what we did. She's been our champion in this project. She's also been our first line helper on everything. She made sure the whole process was seamless for us. Wholeheartedly recommend her.